Hello, everybody. Welcome to the episode 2 of Shadow Work. And I'm Rita of the Shadow as usual. Welcome. And um today's topic is going to be a bit longer. So it's gonna be a bit longer video, but it is also could be one of my most important videos. So yeah, that's why. And we are going like one layer deeper compared to yesterday's one. And so I think because last time the computer science analogy really worked well for me, and I think it worked well for my viewers as well, so I'm going to continue to use that to to further um, describe the relationship between the ego and unconscious a bit better than last time, because I think I have reflected and I have some thoughts regarding what I said before. So I said last time the ego was like the operating system, but I think that is not true, because the operating system would have like usually unrestricted access to the RAM and the disk, and that is not true for our ego, obviously. So I think the ego is actually more like the application within the operating system, and the unconscious is actually the operating system, which we cannot control, but it runs all the time in the background, and it manages things without our knowledge, essentially, even when we go to sleep. And it only stops when we pass out, like when we are literally unconscious. Then ironically, unconscious is not running when we are unconscious. And obviously, if the hardware failed, then we die. So, and everything, the unconscious and the ego will stop running as well, obviously. So yeah. So that is the relationship between the body, the ego, and the unconscious. And so yeah, and so when the new information, let me use a different color. When new information come into the ego, or new experience come into the ego, and the ego would have to make a decision, and it has to initiate action. And then once the information be processed, the unconscious will grab those information and put them into the disk, like that. So that is what's happening when we do something and we learn something new, and then they get stored in the disk. And so the ego may not, like the app, is not always aware everything happening in the disk. It needs to talk with the operating system somehow and extract those information through the unconscious. And so depends on what you store in the disk. It can influence your judgment and your behavior, as we said before from last time. So yeah. So basically, the shadow work is about like working on your operating system, which means like being more aware what you put into the disk, and if there are any corrupt data, it needs to be sorted out. essentially. And yeah, so it is also about like getting more information so that you have more data for comparison, so that you don't rely on, you know, the same things over and over again. And if you have more data, you can make more objective judgment, right? So yeah, so that is shadow work. And so by using this analogy, so you might have already noticed something interesting also, because when we use the computer, what do we do the most actually? We go on the internet, right? We don't use the computer just by itself. So this computer is also connected to other computers. And where are the other computers? There are other computers just like us, but we connect them via the internet. So I think the similar thing is happening, and Carl Jung thinks so too, because he said that according to his observation, if all we have is our unconscious, that is the deepest layer that it can go, then all our dreams should only include our own personal experience. But that is not always true for all his patients. In fact, a lot of his patients have dreams of the places they have never been before, and or things that they have never seen, and places, things like that. So it must mean that maybe there is another layer under the unconscious. So what is that layer then? That is the collective unconscious. We already talked about this 10 last time, but we didn't mention how they were connected, and this is how they were connected. Collective unconscious is the internet. So when you go into the deepest layer, like you think even deeper than your unconscious, you accessing information from the society's unconscious unconscious pool, the pool of unconscious from our society. If you believe this this framework of thinking, but it's up to you. But I think it makes sense. And so and the ego is just an application, right? So what is an application? Application is a code that is running. It's like during runtime, and it's only one instance of the code. And so in the code, we have like different functions. That's why the cognitive functions are literally the functions. And these functions are actually, they also lies on different axes. They have kind of a relationship with each other. So that everything kind of supports each other somehow, you know? So everybody is a thinker, everybody is a feeler, everybody is a sensing person, everybody is an intuitive person. We have all the 8 functions, but we just have different priorities of which ones we use the most often. And like for the INFJ, maybe we focus on the NI first, NI first, and FE second, and TI third, and SE last. But for other people, they have different priorities, and for my shadow, they have NE and NEFI and TESI. So my ENFP shadow complements my INFJ ego. That is how it works, just to demonstrate it by using a graphic, but I think most of you know this already, so I won't spend too much time on this, but just know that, that's how it works. And so let me just sidetrack a little. So because we're using like programming terms, so if you're willing to use the God is a programmer analogy, so how do we design like a harmonious society? So humans, so God, let's say we can use different labels, but I should use God is easier. So God designed it, human, by coding, and then they give the human different unique attributes, such as the gender, different genders, race, personalities, etc. And the personality is just an abstraction layer for cognitive functions. And why is that important? Because not only it describes, like it gives you the ability to like decode and interact with the world, it also gives you, let me see here, it also gives you FI, which is the morality function. So that means, human have morals built into us, and so that we can learn to do the right thing. So without FI users, we kind of all doomed, because they are the ones that give us the morals, and the FE user gets moral from the FI user. So please be grateful for your FI friends. And so yeah, that is a human. And when we die, we return a soul. So because the human is just an instance, right? Just an instance. And when the instance died, the return value is a soul. So the soul is what actually matters. And the soul is, if God is a programmer, he keeps all the souls, and then so the soul continue to develop that way. And the earth is kind of a safe haven with its own parameters. And here, training for all the souls are being done here by assigning them into different instances of humans. And when the things go really wrong, it needs to throw critical fail, throw a critical failure exception, and then that will cause a reset. And then, so that is something like the flood, etc. And when, but even if it's destroyed, it will still return a collection of souls, so that it can be used for the next time. And all the souls are sorted by the lesson learned. So maybe some just go back to the earth again, but some goes to so they are just different classes. So that is, maybe we forget the labels, just class 1 and class 1, 2, 3, different classes. And maybe there are many classes, and so when you pass all the class, then maybe the soul returns again. And then finally, if when we are at a state that is satisfactory, then where should I write it? Here. Then souls. So that is how maybe God would create a harmonious society. If he was a programmer, it might be something like this. So anyways, so which means, from the perspective of the God as a programmer, all the instances are equal. All the instances are equal, and everybody is here to learn. So, and they are just being assigned to different classes. It's more like a sorting, not judging. This was according to my discussion with my friend, also my friend Lorelei, and she's a programmer, and then we kind of have a discussion, and this is what we come up with. So yeah, so that is how maybe God would try to create a harmonious society, and why we shouldn't judge each other, because we are all here to learn. And that's why shadow work is important, because it can help you learn faster, so that you don't take as much time or something like that, or at least improve the collective unconscious, because everybody is in a network. So as soon as someone has a vision to do something good, sometimes it creates a chain reaction, and that chain reaction can have an impact on the collective unconscious network. So that's why. So that's why shadow work is important at the end of the day. And I hope you find that entertaining, and you don't have to believe everything I say. I'm just using this as an example to go along with the computer science analogy. And all of this is just my opinion, sort of, but it's my TI logical opinion. So there's that. And so if the conscious mind is the ego, and the unconscious is the unconscious, obviously, is the operating system. All right, let's say for now. And the collective unconscious is the internet, like it's a network of everybody on the planet. Like, in my opinion, humans, animals, and plants, and maybe even the earth itself is part of the collective unconscious. Because, you know, some people can talk with the animals, some people can talk with the plants, some people have a connection to the earth, and some people can psychically connect to other people. So just because we can't doesn't mean no one can. All right, so just be open-minded and be aware of this collective unconscious. And I think there's one more layer even after that, because what if someone dream of other worlds, like other planets and even aliens, you know? So I think there's one more that is called the universal unconscious. And that is when we are really connected to everything in the universe. So yeah, I guess that's all for now. Do I have anything else I want to discuss? No, I think that's all. Okay, so yeah, so thank you for watching, and you can ask any questions in the comments below, or if you prefer, you can send me a private email. I will check if I have time to do it. But the comments, I will definitely try to go through them. And yeah, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.